Hi, everybody. Welcome back to that Eurovision site. But I will start off with a greeting and saying good evening, Europe, and good morning, Australia. Like literally. Because for today's video, we are going to talk about Australia's choice for Eurovision 2026. And I have my lovely friend Liv, and we're gonna talk about the fact that Delta Goodrem was gonna represent Australia. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. If you've been living under a rock, spoiler alert, Australia have selected their representative for Eurovision 2026, and we do have Delta Goodrem representing them through another internal selection with the song Eclipse. I'm gonna first get your initial thoughts on this because obviously, like, it was it felt like it was given away. It was like, there was rumors like, now we don't see it. But then all of a sudden SBS like, yeah, nope, it is true. As an Aussie fan, Liv, what did you guys think when that news was officially confirmed?
I mean, we were absolutely like going bananas. I think if you've not heard of Delta and you don't know who she is one of the most famous, biggest songwriters and singers in Australia that has had the most incredible staying power since her debut album back in 2003. This is someone who's got the second most sold album for an Australian artist ever. Like she is a household name here. So when there was a bit
Mhm.
of smoke and was like, is this actually happening? And then the fire was finally confirmed. Yes, it is Delta. Like pretty much
Mhm.
everyone went crazy. It hit mainstream media when she was announced. Like it was very much like I went to work and people who don't watch Eurovision were like, oh, did you hear? Like Delta's doing Eurovision. It's like you know that you have a massive name and presence
Mhm.
that everyone's very excited about when people who don't even watch Eurovision actually know she's going to Eurovision. Like, I don't
Mhm.
think we've ever had that kind of reception before, and it definitely went very strongly here.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, you know how when you're like, okay, you don't want to believe things. So for me, I was just like, when I first heard the rumors, I was like, it's a nice wish list. And
It's
then all
certainly, yeah,
yeah. And
we've
and then
been
all
wanting her for 10 years.
yeah. No, and I was like, okay. No, because we all thought, okay, maybe not her, but maybe I thought, okay, maybe 10 years since Sound of Silence, I would have thought it was gonna be Dami. And then because I was like, she was hinting towards that, and I was like, okay, would love for her to return and finish the job. And then now when it was official, I was like, okay, this is it. But yeah, Delta Goodrem is participating with Eclipse. I wanted to ask you because I know that I'm unsure with like what the current percent well, I don't know like what the current climate is on Eurovision Australia because obviously for the past few years they haven't really done well. So, what's the current perception of Eclipse on the Australian public at the minute, you think?
It's certainly, I would say it's still within the Eurovision bubble at this
Hmm.
point. It's not something that's snuck through and broken onto sort of big charts and going big outside
Hmm.
of our bubble yet. So
Hmm.
I would say I wouldn't have a flavor too much from the general public at this point, other than just being excited that it is
Yeah.
Delta. But from a Euro fan point of view, I think everyone's incredibly proud. We can see this is a really high quality, well produced entry with a amazing and experienced artist, which I think is what we've been calling for after these two
Hmm.
non-qualifications. Is like, can we get someone who at least is extremely experienced, who
Hmm.
might be able to use that to try and help us get into the final, I suppose, and get through, the crazy week, which is Eurovision and all those rehearsals and whatnot. So I think everyone is extremely happy, excited, and I certainly was when I first heard it.
because I was gonna say like from what I've seen is that I mean it looks like the song picked up well in some charts. I know that, Delta is an independent artist and I've seen that she has managed to like, come atop of the independent chart. So I'm presuming the reception is
Yes.
there because I don't think I've seen it from your previous entries that, there was some sort of like this type of like I'd say like excitement for the past few entries on it. So which says that, I think you do well at Eurovision if you're backed by your own country and that says a lot. So um looking into this, because obviously we've got the juries back. So, you know, do you think that like the I wanted to ask you, how do you think it would fare now that, okay, we've got someone who is a capable vocalist. We've got a song that's like, running up, you know, I'd say in like I've seen it in like favorite as a favorite from like the Eurovision fans. So how would you say as an Australian, how do you see yourself going into this with all these like factors like coming in? Okay, jury, so there is some professionals that could see this as like, okay, can see the merit of it and just like uh judge it as is and also like, there's that interest from like fans have been wanting her to go to Eurovision.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely a good calculated move to have a song like this in a semi-final when the juries are back this year. I think this is the boost that we need to get us
Mm.
out of that semi-final and back into a grand final. I think unless there's the perfect storm of things going slightly wrong, like there was kind of for Gojo. I can't
Hmm.
imagine this missing out on getting to the grand final, which is very exciting. And I think it will be significantly aided by the juries. But I think we will get some televote love in the semi final. When you look at our results in the past, generally the semi-final audiences are a lot kinder to Australia than the
Hmm.
grand final. So I'm not too worried about that. We have a lot of our good voting allies with us and that kind of thing as well.
Hmm.
Getting to the grand final, I mean, I think we're equal first in the odds or something ridiculous at like to win the juries right now with
Yeah.
France. And I'm like, okay, I think we need to temper that a little bit because at the end of the day, as much and as glamorous this song is, it does sound like something that would win the juries 10 years ago, not necessarily this year. So I think it will get respect from the juries if she can nail a vocal, which is it's a huge task she's given herself. So that's also a question mark. And if she does more than just sit behind a piano, like Delta is a very capable pianist, but if she ends up sitting behind the piano for the whole performance, it will become boring very quickly. So I'm hoping she's got a good stage show, she nails the vocals, etc., etc., and we can get into the top five of the
Mhm.
juries. That will already set us up for a really good result on the night. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're, at the bottom of that five rather than at the top, which a lot of people are thinking.
I mean, look, I mean, you know how you said that on the semis itself, like, the public is, you do have some eyes. You weren't that far off for the past 2 years, like literally. You were literally one place away. So it's not like to say that, I think you're still heading in that right direction. You just needed like a little push. And I think this would hopefully bring you back into the
Yeah, we got a Delta
zeitgeist.
tsunami, not just a push, so we should be fine.
And she was just like, no, oh no, it'll just be like all of the millennials and, everyone who was in love with her music in the North is just like saying, okay, yeah, no, let's vote the 20 times. No, the 10 times, let's go.
Yes, exactly.
But as an Australian, like, how do you think you are going into this? Because like, I feel like, I don't know what it feels like some sort of like feels are, feels like things are looking like they're on the up. So I don't know if it's just like a big name equals like big pressure that oh no, she'll make it, or is it more like it's a big gamble for her to be here at this time where like I think the past years has just been a little bit, not gone so well.
I mean, this feels like a very appropriate time, I think, for someone like Delta to finally do this. I mean, it's always been in the peripherals of her career. She's said
Hmm.
that she's always seen us Euro fans jumping up and down about this. She's been aware, but she's either been touring or doing something else or whatever. As an Australian in media sphere, she has, I guess, slowed down a little bit. There was a period where she was very popular on The Voice Australia as a coach. There's a lot of touring she was doing, and now she's entering a new era. She's said she's going to be releasing a new album soon. That's going to be quite a different sound. So I feel like this is a good point for her to try something new, have a big swing at something new, which is Eurovision. And I think the only thing I worry about is she has performed so much in her life, lots of stages, lots of TV performances, which are just completely different to Eurovision fundamentally.
Hmm.
Eurovision is its own thing and performance, and kind of no one can prepare you for that. So I hope she brings her experience, but whoever's helping her with the
Hmm.
staging, I hope she also lets go a bit to allow them to craft a 3 minute story, which is going to be very different to, Carols at Candlelight, Australia
Hmm.
2025. Do you know what I mean? I think as long as all those elements can come
Hmm.
together, she'll do incredibly well and she'll be very happy with this experience.
Hmm. All right then. Well, it's late March now, and we are not that far off till Vienna. So we're looking forward to that. But one final thing before we go live. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat and I'll come back to you to this when it comes to May. How do you think Australia will do in Vienna?
Mm. We're in a very
Yeah.
competitive semi,
I
so
was gonna say,
I'm
like,
going to say,
yeah, we're recording this. We now know every single song there is, by the way,
yeah,
just to give you
that's
a heads
true.
up.
Let's make it even harder. I think our semi is the harder one, so I think we will qualify, and I think we'll come through in about fifth. And I think in the grand final, we will probably stomp a pretty good jury vote in about fifth as well. I think we'll be modest in the televote and we'll finish about 11th or 12th.
That I love how like scale you don't want to like over optimize about this. I was like, I know you guys will definitely personally, before someone grills me, personally, I think that you'll qualify and you'll definitely be on the left-hand side of the scoreboard if you do make it in.
I
So,
can only hope.
yeah, no, and I'm just praying to you guys because I know that the past 3 years has just been a bit like, oh no, will they make it? Will they make it? And I'm just hoping that you guys do. But anyways, Liv, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Before we go, where can we follow you guys?
And we are Aussievision Net, green and gold. We are on all socials and visit our website. And if you like hearing Aussies and our little twang chatting about Eurovision, we have a podcast that is great for that.
Hmm. All right, then we'll Liv, once again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And, I'll see you in Vienna. And for everyone that's watching, thank you so much. Give us a like and subscribe and all that kind of jazz. And also follow us at that your side for all the socials. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.